So this is where we are. And just a reminder, so chapter 6, we are producing a bike. And so our lab, we are going to be producing a red bike. So now we are going through just the steps of producing a bike. So very quickly, right, what we're doing is going through this process here where warehouse had to request a production, production has to then authorize it. They have to issue raw materials because raw materials are needed to produce two types of products and the semi-finished good and is used in the finished product, which then we would receive in warehouse. Okay. So in order to issue raw materials, we need to have the materials in our shell. Currently, we have no raw materials created, right? So we need to create the master data. So 6.2 will be actually going through the transactional data. In order for us to do the transactions, we need master data to be able to help us with this production. And so where we are today in doing this master data. And so here we are going to create materials and we're creating about 20 or so. Then we're going to 3 different ways of view the inventory. And so we're going to look at 3 ways to do the reporting. Then 5, 6, and 7, 5 is where we have to create the bill of materials. So BOM, we have to create that shows how do we create a semi-finished good and how do we create a finished good? What are the components? What are the materials needed to build up or to produce a semi-finished good, a finished good? To do some product routing. So product routing is how does that product get routed? Right? So does it do assembly, then inspection, and then packaging? So what is the activities or how does that product get routed through production? And then we're going to do an initial inventory balance. So we're going to bypass the procurement process and we are going to build up our inventory. Okay. So we're going to do all of this and we're not going to finish all of it today. So when we come back on Thursday, we'll finish up the rest of 6.1 and then we'll go straight into 6.2. So remember in the labs, I am working with you. I am demonstrating how to do things and doing the lab and the activities. However, you are going to have to comprehend it. You're going to have to do it on your own, whether it's for an exam or the final project. In the final project, you will have to produce your own bike. So I believe it's a silver bike or black bike. I don't remember. But remember, according to GBI, you have 3 types of deluxe bikes. You have a red one, a silver one, and a black one. And because of those 3 types of bikes, you'll have 3 different types of alphanumeric numbers here. So we're going to move on to section 1.1 to create the materials. And so in this section, you'll be creating your own version of all of the below raw materials, semi-finished goods, and finished goods necessary for the production process within the material master. The following table consists of 5 columns. We're going to have 5 columns. We're going to have the description, the number, which is the original number, your number, and then you're going to have the type of materials, and then your storage location. I want you to take a look at this table carefully. You'll see there's raw materials, and so we have all of these that are going to be stored in the raw material location. You have the semi-finished material, which is that one wheel assembly. Although you are not going to purchase these items, you still have to have this material exist because it needs certain views to be able to create or conduct the production process. So we still have to have that product or that material created. We have to have master data for it, as well as the finished bike, which is DXTR 3000. That's the red bike. That also has to be created. So we're going to create these together, and then we'll go on to the rest of the things here. So I'm now under raw materials, step 1.1.1 in the SAP Easy Access screen. Follow the navigation path below. So I'm going to go to logistics, materials management, material master, material. And I want to show you that when we were doing the trading goods, we went under special create, right? And we did trading goods. This time we are going under general, okay? So create general, and we're going to do immediately. There's two different types. There's a schedule and immediately. Schedule means I can create the material, but it's on a schedule that at the end of the night when the, that they would create all of the new materials that your company has. We're going to do it immediately. So number one is MMO1. Number two and number three is asking what if I have to change the material or display it. So it's a good idea to just take a moment and look that there's a folder for change. So we're going to go down here, immediately changing a material. So in case you made a mistake, you don't have the right view, or you have to update it, you would go into MMO2 to change a material that's already created. If you don't have the view currently, then you have to do create. But if you have the view and you have to change something inside of a view, you would do MMO2. And if you want to display it just to view it without any edits to it, then you would do MMO3. 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 Okay, I need you to close the door. Close the door. So you should have 1, 2, and 3. And so now we're in 1.1.2, and we are doing our first material. So I'm doing MMO1. I'm here in this page that says create material. I have 4 things I have to put down. So I don't want you to do anything in autopilot, okay? I don't want you to do anything in autopilot. I want you to be aware of what we're doing here because we have to build a lot. So we're going to put our brake kit in. So it's your brake kit. So I'm going to go back up here. My brake kit is BRKT 10, and then my last 2 digits. So I'm doing brake kit 10. In this class, I have 98. So I'm going to find my brake kit right here. Then it says mechanical engineering is my industry sector. So I'm going to find mechanical engineering. The trading goods were actually retail, but because we're producing this, we're actually using these raw materials in mechanical engineering and production. That's why the industry sector is going to be mechanical engineering. My material type is going to be raw materials. And the 4th thing is copy from my original brake kit. So here's that copy from material. So I'm going to do BRKT 1000 because my original is always going to be this. So now we have this set up. BRKT 1098 mechanical engineering raw materials BRKT 1000. So I'm going to click on the continue, and when I do that, the views is going to pop up. So excuse me. So when I do this, I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to deselect all. And I'm going to highlight the following views. So remember, views are categorized data that we want to pull in to our company. So we're going to pick basic data 1. We're going to pick purchasing because we need to purchase these items. Even though we're going to bypass the purchasing whole entire procurement process, we still need to purchase them. MRP 1. We're going to do general plant data storage 1. We're going to do, if you use your scroll bar here, you're going to go and do accounting 1 and then scroll down. Oops, I scrolled down too much. To costing 1. So let's double check again. You should have basic data checked, purchasing checked, MRP1 checked, general plant data storage 1 checked, Accounting 1 checked. Costing 1 checked. Okay. So then I'm going to click on the default settings here. And then I'm going to click on organizational levels. And then here, I don't know what you have listed, but we're going to add in your Dallas plant here. So I'm in step 1.113. So I'm in Dallas plant and I'm going to do DL98. Okay, so that I'm using that for this. And I'm doing raw material is my storage location 98. Oops. Oh, man. Don't hit enter. Hold on, you guys. So we're doing organizational levels. So then I do DL98, raw material 98. And then here, copy from needs to be the original Dallas plant, DL00, and your original raw material. I want you to look at something really quick. When I do from copy from, this is what's in the client. So if I do that, the only plant that's available for me to copy from is Dallas. Why is that? Because this is a raw material. It's not going to be set up for San Diego or Miami. So there's only one plant that this exists for already set up in my client, okay? Notice same thing, if I go into here, there's only possible entry storage locations. There's only one storage location. So I'm going to pick the raw material one. Okay, I'm going to choose that. And then it says I'm going to do a default setting. So I'm going to click on the default setting. And once I do that, it's going to open up. That's going to say the material already exists and will be extended. Now I want you to see here, it says in create material. So I'm in create material. Enter the following information. So in the material description, add in your 2 letters. So I'm going to, your 2 numbers. So 98 space brake kit. So that's right here. And it says the purchasing group needs to be changed to your GBI buyer. So here's your purchasing group in that purchasing view. And we're going to change that to N98. For you, it would be your 2 digits, N, whatever your 2 digits are. Remember that we cannot hit save. If we hit save, then we're only saving this view, purchasing. We need to go to every view that we want to copy in. So remember, it says press enter until the last data screen is reached. So I'm going to hit enter. It's going to go to the MRP screen. I'm going to hit enter again. I'm going to go into the plant data screen. I'm going to hit enter all the way until I get to the last screen and says you are about to exit. Do you want to save your data? I'm going to hit yes. And then I get back here all the way at the bottom. It tells me material BRKT 1098 is created. Okay. So we're done, and it says refer to the beginning of this section and create the rest of your raw materials. Okay, so we have to go back and we're going to create the rest of our materials here. Okay, so we're going to take some time and we're going to do chain, gear assembly, hex nut, lock washer, all of these we're going to go back and do. So now we need to be mindful. I'm going to do a first few slowly, and then I'm going to go a little bit faster. So we've already done the default. So we already know that the views are already set up because we had selected the default setting. So we already have this set up for the views. We've already set up our organizational level. So we really don't have to keep doing that over again, right? We just need to make sure that we're changing our description and updating our purchasing group for every one of the views. I'm sorry, for every one of the materials. So let's get started here with chain. So it's CHAN 10, your 2 digits, find it. I'm going to keep everything else. I've got to remember, be mindful of what you're doing, copying from. So students will just keep going. You're copying, break information into chain. That's not what we want. So I'm going to change my thing here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to hit continue. The views are correct. I know that, but I can double check it. I'm going to hit enter again, and everything is set up that way. So now what do I need to do? I need to go to the description. I need to add in 98 in the front, and then that purchasing group, I'm going to do N98. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go through every one of those views until I get to the last view, and then it's going to say yes. So I'm down to 2. So now I'm doing the gear assembly here. So it's DG AM 1098, copying from DGAM 1000. I'm going to hit enter, enter. I'm here. I'm going to hit 98 here. Change this N98. Enter. I'm just keep hitting enter. Is there someone that's not with me? If you've gone ahead, that's okay. I'm going to start getting a little bit faster. So I'm at HexNut 1098. Everything is the same. Copy from HexNut 1000. Enter, enter. Change this to 98. Update my purchasing group. Hit enter. So I get to the last screen. Yes. Moving on to lock washers. I'm at pedal assembly. I'm at touring aluminum wheel right here. Be careful when you're doing TRFR 3098. Make sure you're doing TRFR 3000 because we're looking at the red frame, right? So this is the red frame. We should be copying from the red frame. So that is not 3000, it's 3000, not 1000. So we're going to pick that.
What if we entered it as 1,000 and we're on the purchasing page? Can we go back and fix it?
So yes. So you can just enter, oops, what did I do? Okay, so I'm going to do some, if you made a mistake, right? I made a mistake and instead, so you're about to exit. Do you want to save your data for the material? No. So now you haven't done anything. It's not saved yet. So now you can do TRFR 3098 again. Copy it from where you want it to copy from now. And then hit enter. And then you should be fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, on my last one here, the warranty document. All right. So then, is there anyone that isn't done yet? Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
wait.
like 3 left.
Okay, no worries. We'll wait. I'll wait a few more minutes.
I had a question.
Uh-huh.
For the chain one, I'm pretty sure on the initial create material screen, I didn't change the copy from material one. Can I change that even though I've already saved it?
Um, the only thing you can do now is, let me just think real quick. So, do you know which one you did that was copied from? You
The
said,
second one, chain, I'm pretty sure I didn't change the copy from material section. I just left that as the break kit one. So I left break kit 1000 instead of CHAN 1000.
okay. So, what I suggest doing is see if you can create it again.
Okay.
So, create the chain again and copy from the chain and see what it says. Does it give you an error?
I also have a question.
Uh-huh.
So also for the chain one, I just realized for the industry sector, or no, no, for the location where materials are stored, I forgot to put my number in front of it.
Okay, yeah, that the description you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine if you forgot the description, but if you wanted to change those kind of things, Allison, you would go into change MMO2
Mhm.
and go into your material, whatever it was,
Okay.
and then hit continue. Then just continue because it's the same thing. Organizational levels will be the same here. And then you hit check. And so here you're in the change material, and then you can just go in and change that description.
Okay, and also right when you said watch out for the one that starts with the 3, I messed it up and I did instead of TRFR30 my number, I did TRFR1.
And then did you copy it from one?
I I think
Did you
so.
do 10? You
Yeah.
copied it from 10. So that's fine. If you have that, you'll need that for the project. So go in and just do another one that's TRFR 3000 and then make sure you're copying from, I'm sorry, TRFR 30, your 2 digits, and copy from TRFR 3000.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Just as long as they're both copied and whatever is the same, then it's fine. So if you don't have a TRFR 3000, I mean 30 whatever, then copy it, create it again.
Okay.
For the other individual, were you able to create the chain again?
It says error material already maintained for this transaction/event.
Yeah. So it's already created. So you would have to go interchange as well. And what we're going to have to do is, and I can actually go through that with you in a minute. If I can talk to you after class, there's 2 things you have to do. Right now, it's not going to affect anything that we're going to do today, but
Okay, I
so,
could just stay after class.
yeah,
Thank
okay,
you.
perfect. So let's keep going. So we should be here in semi-finished goods now. And in this step, we're going to create the semi-finished good that we have, which is right here. Okay. So let's go into MMO1 again. And so we're here in that create material. And what we're going to do here is we're going to put in TRWA 10 0 our 2 digits. And so I'm going to find mine. And then we're going to still keep it as mechanical engineering. Material type is not going to be raw materials. It's going to be semi-finished product. So we're going to do semi-finished product. So we're going to find that. Copy from needs to be our original wheel assembly. So this is going to be TRWA 1000. And when it pulls up, we want to make sure it says Touring Aluminum Wheel Assembly. I'm teaching right now. Close the door. Close the door. So we're here and we're going to hit continue. And we're going to look, we don't have to deselect everything. We're just going to make sure we have basic data, purchasing, MRP1. We're going to add in work scheduling because that's needed when you're producing a bike. So when you're producing a bike, you need that work scheduling. We need general plant data storage 1, accounting 1, and costing 1. And so you need these basic data 1, purchasing, MRP 1, work scheduling, general plant data, accounting 1, costing 1. We're going to now hit organizational levels. And here we're going to change because we now need to put this storage location as semi-finished. So we're going to do DL98 and we're going to change the storage location to SF, right, 98. We have it still going into Dallas, but if you look here, when I go to see where can I copy it from, you'll see that the only possible storage location is going to be semi-finished. It knows that this is a semi-finished good. And the only place for this material, right, that we're copying it in from only exists in semi-finished. These are important things you need to think about when you are doing copying. The reason I'm telling you this is because I am working with you now. Directions are available for labs. You are going to have to do project on your own. You're going to have to create new material in different locations. So be careful of what you're doing. And when you're copying, look to see what already exists for the client, for the original, and then making sure we're doing something similar. Okay. So we're going to then click the checkbox here, and it's going to open up for us. So we're going to change the description, and then it says MRP type has to be this. So we're going to put 98 here. It doesn't tell us to change the purchasing group, but I'm going to tell you to just change it to your, uh-oh, what happened here? Okay, so we're going to change this to N98. Okay, and that's there. And then for MRP type, it's not under purchasing, so I'm going to hit enter. And under MRP view, you'll see a section says MRP type. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to look for MRP. So I'm going to go down, down, down to MRP right here.
Question.
Uh-huh.
When I'm in the org levels, it comes up with an error and it says that SL50 can't be found, which is not a good step.
Do you have Dallas?
Yeah, in the plant I have DL50, and then the storage location I typed in SL50.
SF, semi-finished, SF.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you get it?
Yeah, that worked.
Okay. And you changed the copy from to be SF00, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Thank
then,
you.
So we're going to change the description. We're going to hit the enter button until it gets to MRP view. And then we're going to do PD for MRP type. Then I'm going to hit enter. So I'm going into the work scheduling here. The production version's coming through when we're doing routing. That will come through here for us, okay? So we're going to hit enter. This is our plant data storage. So how do we store it in the SF98? This is telling us the price typically for a semi-finished the wheel assembly. We're not selling it, but that's how much it's going to cost to produce. We hit enter, accounting, And then costing, this is for our cost center. This is where that bill of material comes in, that group counter that we're going to do a little bit later. That will pop up there, and we're going to hit enter. And it's going to say, do you want to save your data? We say yes. So now we've created our semi-finished good. Now we're going to go into finished good. So we're in step 1.134. And we are going to now create the red bike. So we're going to go up here to material, and we're going to do DXTR3098 is my 2-digit. So we're going to create the bike. The industry is going to be still mechanical engineering. The material type is finished product. So I'm going to look for finished product. I have to go up, and here is finished product. And then a copy from, I'm going to do what? DXTR3000, right? Because I'm copying from the original bike. Okay. Then I'm going to hit continue, and the views are going to pop up. I want you to notice that the purchasing view, it doesn't even exist here because it knows this is a finished product. There's no way that we are going to purchase anything. Okay. Now what comes up are more things of how to produce that bike. So we're going to select the basic data. We're going to select MRP1. We're going to select work scheduling. We're going to select the general plant data storage 1. We're going to select accounting 1. And we're going to select casting 2. We don't have to click on default settings. It's fine. Let's now go into organizational levels. And now here, we're going to have it DL98. Where are we putting this? It's going to be in the finished goods, correct? So we're doing finished goods FG 98, and yours should start to pop up. We're going to do DL00. Let's pull up to see what are their possible entries that we can copy from. Notice that the only possible entry here is finished goods FG. Okay, so we're going to click on FG and choose that. And so now we're copying from DL00 into DL98. We're copying from FG00 into FG98. I'm going to then hit OK here, the checkbox, and I'm going to get to this here. It says, in this screen, I want you to change the material description to add in your 2 digits, and I want you to change the MRP type to MRP. So I'm going to add in here 98 in the front, and here's my MRP type. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to search for PD. I'm going to hit enter, enter, enter. My bike costs $1,400. Enter until I get to the last page, and I'm going to do yes.
Professor, the MRP type was PD, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
For that one, did you have to enter your purchasing group?
No, because we didn't have the purchasing view. It didn't even exist. So here's where we didn't have the purchasing view, right? So it went straight into MRP, and we just changed the MRP. Why would we not have the purchasing view? Because we're not going to purchase anything for that bike, right? We don't purchase that bike, we produce that bike. All right, so now we're going into view inventory balance. And so we're going to talk about 3 different ways that we can view the balance inventory. And you're going to need this because in section 6.2, it's going to ask you how to view, that you need to view inventory balance. There's going to be questions related to that. You're going to have to use what you know from 6.1 to be able to answer those questions. So we're going to go back out to SAP Easy Access. In this section, you look at the inventory balance of raw materials located within Dallas. So here we're going to go into SAP Easy Access menu. Okay. And we're going to go to logistics. materials management. We're going to go into physical inventory. We're going to go into environment. And then we're going to go into stock overview, MMBE. Before you double click on it, you can actually add it into your favorites so that you have it available here if you need it. Okay. So I am going to click on in this MMBE. And so that's your transaction code. And then it says, I want you to put in this information. I want you to take a look at this screen for a minute. It only allows you to do one material at a time. Okay, so we're going to put in TRW. It's the frame, right? So that's TRFR 3098. If you don't know, you can actually look it up and search for materials by description. So if I didn't know, I could say star and I could say red, okay? And then I could put 5,000 here and start a search. And I could look up the frame. And so I can see all the different frames that are available. And I know that the frame now starts with TRFR, and I can just go down and search for my TRFR 98. So this is my touring frame, not my bike. Okay, so I can pick that. I know it's going to be DL98 because that's my plant. Okay, and where's the storage location for this? It's going to be raw materials 98. So I'm going to add these things in here and I'm going to hit execute. And so this only gives me the inventory for one item. And this is something that you've seen before when you were doing trading goods, right? You're able to look at one item and what does it tell you? In your US 98, there is nothing. There is no items located for unrestricted use, reserved, on order. Nothing. Okay, so 5, 6, and 7 are 0. Now let's go to look at the inventory material here. View material inventory. So we're going to exit out of here and we're going to go into logistics, materials management, inventory management, environment, stock, and then warehouse stock. So that's right here, MB52. Before you double click it, you can actually save it to your favorite so that it's up here for you. So MB52 is what is to display the materials inventory level. Now take a look at this. What is this telling you? This displays the warehouse stock. So this allows you to look at everything within your warehouse. So how do we set that up? The material, okay, we want to do star or the wild card, right? So we're doing the wild card and I'm going to do 098. That means I could have 1098, 3098, right? Anything. And the 4 letters would be any of my letters, right? It would be anything that I have. It's going to be in Dallas. So I'm going to do DL98. And then the storage location, I want to pick all of my storage locations. I want to pick raw materials, semi-finished good, finished good. So instead of actually having a 2 digits here, RM, I'm going to put an asterisk there. So that could mean it's going to pick up any one of my storage locations that ends with a 98. Okay. So we're going to then do an execute here. And so we're going to be able to see all of the materials that you just created in your Dallas plant. And it's going to tell you raw material storage location. It's going to tell you semi-finished location for the wheel assembly. You can double check your work here and make sure that everything is in the right place. Just take a look, double check your work. Make sure that you have the red bike. If you've created the black bike or the silver bike, that's okay. But just make sure you have this DXTR30, your 2 digits, that it's residing in the finish good, right? This is the description. So take some few minutes to locate, to figure this out. Answer some of these questions, right? What's the code for your raw material storage location, right? Raw materials, RM something, 2 digits. What's the code for your semi-finished? What's the code for your finished good? What's the total USD dollar value of raw materials in your inventory? So right now we have nothing, okay? Nothing. Everything is 0, so you can look all the way at the bottom. It's going to actually tell you what the total would be that you have in stock. So this kind of tells you a little bit about your total that you would have. And then how many of your gear assemblies are there in inventory, and what's the material code for your warranty document? So take a few minutes, okay, and take a look at that and answer that. You can always go back to that. So my suggestion would be after class that maybe you can go back into this area and then double check all of your work so that you have the right materials that you created, okay? So okay, so now I'm going to move on and do the display requirements list. So you'll have time to do this view inventory. So in this section, we're going to look at the stock requirements list for a touring aluminum wheel assembly. Okay, so this will tell you all of the stock that's needed or how much you have to build up that aluminum wheel assembly. So what we're going to do here is take a look at logistics, materials management, inventory management, environment, stock, and then the stock requirement list. So MD04. So before you highlight it, you might want to save it for the favorites. So we're going to do that. And we're going to get this kind of report that comes out, this initial screen. So we're going to put your touring wheel assembly in. So mine's is TRWA 10098. And so it shows up this way. So I'm going to pull it up. It's supposed to be in the MRP area of Dallas. So it is Dallas, but it's Dallas 98. And my plant is Dallas 98. So I have that filled in. I'm going to hit continue. And you can see a couple of things here. There's nothing that's available. Okay. There's no warehouse stock of that item. Okay. And so what I want you to do here is it's asking questions about material type. So what's the material type for touring wheel assembly? So here's our wheeling assembly. Here's your material type. It's HALB. So if I open this up, okay, I can take a look and I can see HALB means semi-finished product. That's what the 4 letters stand for material type. This is the description. What's the code for the trading goods material type? So I can go down here, and so it says trading goods, not trading goods planned. So there is a trading goods planned. If you go all the way down here, there's a trading goods planned. We're looking for just regular trading goods. So that's kind of up here a little bit, right underneath the semi-finished product. It's called HAWA, HAWA. So that's number 17. Number 18, what is the code for the raw materials material type? So we're going to go and try to find raw materials type. And here it is, ROH. So that's number 18. And last, we're going to look at what is the code for the finished product material type. So we're going to look for the finished product. And so we're going to go down and we find finished product and it's FERT. So questions 16 to 19 is really important, okay? You want to be able to understand material type because they're going to ask you questions like that, and that's how you're able to view different things. So take a look at that. So now we're going to go into the bill of materials. And so we're going to try to create that bill of material. And we have to create two bills of material, one for the semi-finished good, which is the wheel assembly, and the other bill of material for the finished good. So let's take a look at this, right? So in this section, you'll create a bill of material for a wheel assembly and then create another one for your bike. So here for your wheel assembly, you can see the different components, the different materials that are needed to build this material, right? So bill of material is all of the components needed to build up this material. So let's exit out of here and close all this up. Is there someone that is not with me? All right. So we're going to go into logistics, production, we're going to go into production. We're going to go into master data. We're going to go into bill of materials right here. We're going to go into bill of materials again. We're going to go into bill of materials right here. And there's three things, which are questions 20, 21, and 22. This is important because you might have to change your bill of material if you did it incorrectly, or you may have to display it, which is we're going to do next time we go into class. So right now we're going into CSO1. So we're going to click on that. And so we're going to be here. And so we're going to enter in our Touring aluminum wheel assembly, TRWA 10, and then your 2 digits. We're going to put in your plant information, so plant 98. If you don't have your bill of material usage, it's supposed to be production. So I'm going to open this up. And you can see what all of the ways that you can use the bill of materials. We're using it for production purposes, which comes out to 1. The validity is it's going to be valid starting today. So after today, we can use this, we can start producing this material. Okay, so we're going to have that. And then it says click copy. So right here at the top, you see this copy icon right here. We're going to click on it. When we click on it, this copy from pop-up will show up. In this material, we're going to put in where are we going to copy from. So we are actually going to copy from TRWA 10.0.0.0. So we're going to copy from the original aluminum wheel assembly. We are going to put in the plant that is going to be the original Dallas plant, right? Because we don't have anything in our plant. So we want to copy from DL00, right? And so that's the original plant. So we're going to copy that's already here, residing in the client. We're going to copy it into our company. And we want that BOM usage to still be 1. Okay. And then it's going to be valid from. So we're going to click the continue button. So this checkbox. When we do this, it says create material BOM copy from. So that's where we are. And it says click select all. So all of these materials end in 00, everything. This is still copy from. So we're going to do one of these things or select all. So this first icon right here, it says select all. So we're going to select all of them. When we do that, all of these are clicked on, like so. And then it says click copy. So step 1.5.7 says click copy. So at the top, you'll see the third icon says copy. So we're going to hit copy. Now, when I do that, I should be in the create material bill of material. So I am. Notice now what's happening. It's my material, my plant, and it says enter in all of these, which are your touring bike, your tube, right? So I'm in component number 10, right? I'm in the first component. I don't have this component in my shell, in my company. That's why it says it's not maintained in plant, right? This, you can see this error. Material, TR 1000 is not maintained in your plant. That's right. What do we have maintained? I have the last two digits. So I'm going to replace the 1000 with the ones that I just created earlier. I'm doing 98. You guys are doing your two digits. Okay. So then I'm going to hit enter. And then it tells me the same thing. This material is not maintained. This is the touring tube. That's the second component. I'm in item number 20. So I'm going to replace that with my two digits. Right here. I'm going to hit enter. And it tells me I'm on my third component. It says, well, this is not maintained. So I'm going to change that to my two digits. I'm on the fourth component, which is the hex nut. This is not my component. I've got to replace it with the 98. I'm on the fifth component, lock washers. It's telling me it's not maintained. I got to replace it with mine. I'm now on the sixth component, the socket head bolt. I'm right here. And I'm going to replace it with my two digits.
Professor,
Yes.
for my lock washer, it's saying that it's not maintained in my plant.
Did you do your last two digits?
Yeah.
So that means you don't have it copied in.
All right.
So you're not going to be able to create the bill of material because you don't have a lock washer in there. So you can just exit out. Don't save anything. Just exit out. Go back in and create whatever that was missing, the lock washer. I can't remember which one it was that you just said.
All right.
And then you can come back in and do this. So for everyone else, I want you to see, you're going to come to this place here. It should be your two digits, your Dallas plant, alternative 1. It should have all of your components, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? Check it, double check it. Answer these questions here for 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. How many components make up the touring wheel assembly? Can someone answer this question?
6.
That's right. 24, what is the material code for your touring tube? Can someone answer this question?
Mine says is it TRTB 1050?
So everyone should have the different last two digits. What is the item category for the components? What does that mean? Item category is right here. And if I go into that, right, because I don't know what it's for. So I'm going to open that up. And L stands for what stock item. So basically what it's saying is these are stock items. Item category is for all of the components. 26, how many lock washers are needed in a touring wheel assembly? So if you actually pull this further to take a look at what's going on here. If I went to the side here like this, I would be able to so if I use my scroll and I scroll, sorry, this scroll right here, I can scroll and I can look at quantity here. And so what is it asking me? How many lock washers are needed? So lock washers are right here. I'm going to go across, and how many are needed to build up a wheel assembly? 2. Then it says, what is the item number for the hex nut? So item number is right here. And the hex nut is what item number? It's 0040. Does everyone kind of understand what this looks like? Then we're at step 1.5.10, click save. And you should be creating your material, the bill of material for material TRW 1098. So I'm going to give everybody a minute here to make sure. Is there someone that has not been able to do their bill of material?
Me.
Are you able to go back and copy in your hex nut?
I'm doing that right now.
Okay, perfect. If you want, I can work with you at the end of class to make sure that you're getting the bill of material in.
Okay, that's fine.
But I can wait a few minutes for you to try to finish that, what you're doing. And then we're going to go into the bill of material for the finished good. Is there someone else that's not with me?
I had to go back and add one too.
Okay. So let's take a few minutes. Actually, I'm going to stop here then.